All right, so that year, 1993, you almost had easily 17, 18 competent players for the senior team alone. How did you manage all that talent? I mean, it was hard find playing time. I can speak as the last guy on the bench. I know when you mentioned earlier about you had a good view of the games. I had a great view of the games. You had the problem of all these riches, of all the talent. And that year, Hudson was without a doubt dominant,
Yes.
at the school level, Manika level, state level, national level. How was it trying to keep everybody motivated amongst all these plethora of players that you had?
I don't remember it being a challenge or an issue. I just remember a lot of guys that loved each other and would do anything that was required for the good of the team and one another. There was just such a good camaraderie and good chemistry. It was just a joy.
Yes.
As a father, when you have the children come over and friends and they're all playing together and everyone is loving each other, it's just a delight. And that's the way it was. Not that you were children, but it was just wonderful to be with all of you. You so bright, so brilliant, so talented, so gifted, and so generous.
Yes.
To
yes.
one another.
Awesome.
You were all wanting the best for one another.
Yes.
So,
Now around that time, you introduced. We didn't have Gatorade in Zimbabwe. We didn't have any of the electrolyte drinks that replenish your souls. Do you remember some nasty drink that you introduced back around that time?
yes, we had been told when I was growing up that you needed to replenish not just the water, but you needed to replenish salt in your system. And back when my coach was doing it, he didn't know what he was doing, and I didn't know what I was doing, and so we put way too much salt. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I remember we used to drink that salt water, particularly before tournaments, and it was nasty, but it was effective because we hardly had cramps, But I don't know if that was according to the health code in Zimbabwe.
Well, that was a concern, especially in a tournament situation where you're playing back to back to back.
Yes.
Make sure that you stay hydrated. So
yes,
we tried.
Thank you. So that year, once again, 93, Hudson dominated. We won at all levels, and then comes the difficult year for all of us ballers, 1994, which was your last year coaching at Hudson. And that was also Mr. DeWolf's last year coaching at Hudson. And at this point, once again, we had talent, an overload of talent. At this 94, on the senior girls, we had Anna Chikukwa, Cleopatra Neganje, Kudzichambara, Olivia Chinjekure, Faith Maposa, and so forth. On the senior boys side, you had, the Nyananda crew. Nyananda, Gerald, Prosper, Nisbert, myself, Tendai Kudina, Louis Chiora, Simba Mvere, Brian Magodo, Munyaradzi Nyananda.
Yes.
No, Mnyaradzi, he was in upper six that year. And then on the junior team, some of your star players, the Mganiwa twins, they were now playing on the junior team.
Yes.
Tondera Nyamombe, really short guy. Starkey was a sprinter. He was on the junior team, really, really good. I think there was Elisha Chambara. I don't know if you remember him. Itai Muremi Murewa. So this was the year, once again, we just dominated Boys High. And several, I think, from that senior team, I think the first four guys made the national team. Half of us made the Manicaland team. What do you remember your last year coaching, and what was your frame of mind knowing, this may be it. You will be leaving at the end of the year.
It was heartbreaking, knowing that we were going to be gone and knowing that you all could very well be without a coach. So we were leaving you with just whatever we could provide that you may hang on to. The family had been able to come back to the States for 3 months before that time to be able to visit different churches that had been supporting us. And across those 3 months, we met a basketball coach of some prominence here with Crest High School. You all of a sudden got some uniforms from Crest High School.
Yes.
And lots of shoes and so forth.
Yeah. Tell us about the shoes.
Yes. There was this was in these days today. They're the sneaker companies that sponsor so much of basketball, especially in this country and around the world. But then it was a little bit of a new thing, and there was a little bit south of here. There was a production facility, a plant that made Adidas shoes. And somehow, as the workers produced the shoes, a left shoe and a right shoe, sometimes there would be a mismatch. There would be an 8.5 on the left side and a size 8 on the right. And so as the inspector saw them, they would just throw them back over their head into a pile. They wouldn't bother to sell them, and the economics weren't such that they could afford to go do that. So there was a mountain of shoes, and they just told us, if you want them, if you can use them, then you can have them. So we enlisted an entire church, all of the youth group and all of the adults, a couple of hundred people to go get this and to have a party and just match up the different shoes and sizes and colors and styles, and then we raised the money to pay for a shipping container to be able to send it over. So that was a part of the fun.
Okay. So what was the plan with the shoes?
I forgot the original question.
I'll come back to. So the question was, what was your thought process coaching that last year?
Oh yes. Thank you.
Yes.
I knew, especially Tanya and Fungwa. Is that right?
Yes.
Both of them had point guard sensibilities. They had a notion of where everyone else on the team needed to be and what relationship. They could see the court to see what was going to be happening in 10 seconds, to know how to move and manipulate the defense to get them to overshift in order to be able to hit the weak spot. And I just thought, if there's a way in which I can teach them to be able to do that kind of delicate dance, if you will, of keeping everyone in the right relationship, that those two would be able to have you all to be a winning team. And there was a wedding going on or about to happen at that time, and I was sort of captivated watching the couples for the wedding preparing the dance. It was
yes.
Great choreography, and a week in advance, all of these couples who were working together. So it began to conjure up to me, if I can teach a dance, if I can get all the players to understand proper spacing.
Okay.
And I remember, Tanya Fungwa may remember this, we just developed a system where we tried to get whichever of the two was bringing the ball up to move to the center. And then if they went to the left, then everyone would shift in a particular position. After one pass, the person on the opposite side, down low, would come across to set a screen and bring another person around up top for a second screen to be able to receive the ball. And we had this what would happen next kind of thing. And we just practiced that dance. We just practiced those movements, and I felt you guys could do it. I felt you had all the parts, all the pieces to be able to do some great things. So
Yes.
When I heard that you all had won the championship,
Leyland
Yes.
Championship. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
it touched my heart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Mr. Reavis, same question for you. 94, knowing this was your last year, what was your frame of mind going into the year? You know, this is probably your last year teaching the students. Any thoughts from that last year teaching at Hartselle?
Oh gosh, just it's just such a fast year. It seemed like it went faster than any other. I'm just trying to get as much accomplished as we could with making the computer classroom sustainable as much as possible, and preparing the students for the exams, and trying to working on the report cards for the whole school, getting that process down pat, and just it was hard to think about leaving because we just loved being there so much, but knowing that it was the right time for us to come back and give that opportunity for someone coming out of University of Zimbabwe to come and teach the computer class and continue the work there that needed to be done, and give that opportunity to some Zimbabweans that could keep it going.
Yes, yes. Now, a question for both of y'all. How was it preparing the girls to come back? Like, I remember Stacy came, she was 2, so she was probably around 6, 7 at this time. And from 2 to 7, Zimbabwe was probably all she knew as far